Hey everybody, it's Ben. It is early in the morning, so if I look tired, it's because I am tired. I'm also getting ready to make myself breakfast. You got it, a power bowl. Today's power bowl is a kale and almond power bowl. I know it sounds gross, but I have the ingredients right over here. I'm going to show you what they are, and I'm going to cook it up in real time to show you how fast it is. And I'm going to hope that maybe you give it a try. And I'll talk to you a little more once we're finished and give you your mission, your power bowl mission. These are the ingredients that we're going to use to make our kale and almond power bowl. I'm going to talk fast and work fast because I'm starving to death. Here I have maybe not even a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. I have maybe a tablespoon of almond butter. That's all I had, so that's all I'm using. And here is maybe a half of a tablespoon of fresh chopped garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic, throw some powdered garlic in there. It's fine too. This is maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of Bragg's amino acid. It's a soy alternative, adds a little salt to the mix. Here is maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. It's going to add a little heat to our dish. Here I have maybe 3 ounces of chopped extra firm tofu. Make sure that your tofu is organic. It's not a big deal. Most of it is. And if you're new to tofu, extra firm has a little meatier texture. Too soft usually freaks people out. So some extra firm tofu. Here's the bad boy. This is our kale. This is about 2 cups of chopped kale. Yum. All vitamins and great things for us in here, for me. Over here I have maybe a quarter cup of chopped almonds. I have about a cup of brown rice, a little less. You know, brown rice is good for us, don't get me wrong. However, it's still a carbohydrate. So if you're serious or concerned about losing weight, you still have to keep an eye on your carbohydrates and something like brown rice, even though it's good for us. So keep that in mind. Over here I have about a cup of carrots, and they're matchstick carrots. If you have regular carrots, chop them up. Otherwise you can get these already pre-chopped at the store. Totally convenient. As a decadent item, this is roasted seaweed. It's flavored with honey Dijon. They're definitely not mandatory, but I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of it on my power bowl once it's finished, just for the hell of it. Okay, you got it? Good. We're going to take this over to the stove and cook it up real time. My pan is already hot. I'm going to add some of this oil. First of all, this is about that tablespoon of oil I told you about. And I'm going to throw my garlic in here at the same time. And what else I'm going to throw in there? I'm going to throw the kale in right away too. Because kale is so nutrient rich, it's also pretty resilient. When you put it against heat, it fights back. So we're going to cook this down. I think the heat's high enough for us here. And let's see what happens. I'm going to throw in these almonds right away too. The whole idea too behind this power bowl approach is the cooking can happen so rapidly. So if I want to release the flavors of something like the almond, which is a fat, you know, warm fats taste pretty tasty as opposed to just room temperature, I'm going to toss them in right away so they have a chance to meld with the garlic and the kale. You can already see that this kale is cooking up. It's wilting down a little bit. If you want a little more oil, if you want to make something like this more decadent, go for it. Knock yourself out. You'll see too that 2 cups of kale cooks down, you know, almost like spinach, but it doesn't get as wilty as spinach. When you cook spinach, to me it kind of freaks me out a little bit because it gets a little too runny and watery. Kale withstands and sort of holds its own. So I'm going to turn this heat up just a little bit. I'm going to put in just a little bit of water. You could put in oil if you deserve it, if you were worth it. Got a little water in there just to wilt down that kale a little bit, cook it a little faster. Now, I'm also going to throw in these carrots. Depending on my mood, sometimes I like to cook the carrots down so they're nice and soft. But this morning, whoops, that carrot totally just jumped out of the pan. It wasn't ready to be sacrificed for a meal. Yeah, sometimes I like my carrots totally crunchy, sometimes I like them soft. This morning, I added them in, just a few seconds later, so I have a little more crunch along with my almonds. That's just how I'm feeling today. You can knock yourself out. You can be the judge in your own kitchen. It already smells really tasty. I didn't have this on the ingredients list too, but I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of salt against that kale at this point. It's going to, just help make it a little tastier, a little more palatable. We're almost ready for breakfast. This is really exciting. That's cooking down nice. Now I'm going to throw this tofu in there. There's a little bit of water, actually quite a bit of water in the tofu. That's going to help cook down the kale too. Everyone's so afraid of tofu. I don't understand it. It's really just a neutral protein source. And as long as the soy that you're eating is organic and non-GMO, it's as good of an alternative for protein as anything else. People just immediately want to hate on tofu, but get used to cooking with it because it's so versatile and so healthy for us. You can already see what's happening here, right? It's starting to look really pretty. Look at those colors, the orange and the green, nice. There's those almonds in there, remember? So we have garlic, almonds. I gotta throw these hot pepper flakes in there. I'm gonna toss those in now. That's totally fine. You could have put those in at any time, really. It doesn't matter. I just like a little heat. If you want more heat, put more in there. If you don't like heat at all, then you could add something sweet. You could put like agave nectar in here. You could squirt a little bit of honey in there, some maple syrup. That's going to transform. I'm going to throw this amino acid product in there, the Bragg's amino acid. Adds a little more moisture. We're almost done. I am going to put my almond butter in and let this almond butter a little stingy. And it also is looking a little dry. So once again, I'm going to reach over and just add a little water. No big deal. And it's going to moisten it up just a little bit for us. Once that almond butter gets warm, it's going to be a little more spreadable. And then I'm going to add my brown rice. And this is pretty much it. I'm going to mix it up nice and good. Like I say, if it needs a little more moisture for you, then you could also put in, say, like organic chicken broth or vegetable broth if you needed a little more liquidy, a little more moist. I'm going for the dry this morning for whatever reason. That's just how I feel. And ultimately, this breakfast right here is going to be so nutrient packed and is going to get me really far today, easily probably till this afternoon. And in addition to a couple nice snacks, maybe some fruit or what have you. But that's pretty much it. It's done. Yum. We're done. That was it. It can't get any simpler. And that sure didn't take that much time either. If you have leftovers, don't be afraid to put some in Tupperware and reheat it in the afternoon. It's still tasty. And it's tasty the next day if you really let it last for that long. The cool thing about eating something like this, it's all energy, like all usable, viable energy. Nutrient rich, just packed with vitamins, minerals, everything good that your body needs to function properly. Your challenge, I said there was going to be a challenge. The Power Bowl challenge is try this or create your own variation, but do it for 3 mornings in a row. By the 4th morning, your body's going to crave it. That's the power of plants. That's the power behind the Power Bowl approach. If you begin to feed your body good things, it's going to ask for more good things. Yum.